A car has to have a driver in it. It's insane not to have a driver in a car. I don't know why anybody can say that that's okay.
Well, there are new concerns over driverless taxis in San Francisco, and it comes after the state's Public Utilities Commission gave the green light to a massive expansion of robotaxis in the city. This allows companies to charge fares for driverless service and grow the fleet as large as they'd like. Now, eventually, thousands of robotaxis could be on the streets of San Francisco. And sure enough, one day later, 10 cruise cars stopped together, blocking traffic in the center of the city's North Beach district for 15 minutes. And then witnesses say they woke up and moved on. Well, joining us now to talk about this is Sultan Meghji, former Chief Innovation Officer at the FDIC. He's also an adjunct professor of engineering at Duke University with a focus on AI. Really excited to pick your brain on this, Sultan. So San Francisco's fire chief says these cars are not ready for prime time. Do you agree? And if so, what issues need to be addressed immediately?
Well, they're clearly not. If something as simple as bad cell phone coverage can knock them out, I think we've all had that issue when you're just, sitting at home even. So if that's the limiting factor, they probably need to go back to the drawing board on how at least some of that technology works. On top of that, the municipal environment is just not quite set up for it. I mean, San Francisco's going to have a lot of work to do here. And I think the companies involved have a lot of work to do on the tech side.
Well, it certainly seems that way based on this most current traffic jam. So key companies, as you know, use the driverless industry. They're owned by big corporations like GM, Amazon, Google, Hyundai. Is this a sign, though, that these robo-taxis are soon coming to all of our streets?
It seems almost inevitable at this point. There's so much money to be made. Just imagine the cost savings that these companies can get versus taxis or Ubers or Lyfts. And so there's tremendous pressure on all of the major metropolitan areas, airports, et cetera, to make room for these. The problem is our road system wasn't designed for it. The cell phone infrastructure wasn't designed for it. And so, but we are, I think it's kind of the boulder being pushed down the hill by these big companies.
Is there anything that you think, any sort of regulation that could happen that would ensure the safety of these machines? Or do you think we just need to go back to the drawing board and reevaluate this technology altogether?
It's a great question. I would actually say a little bit of both. The current regulatory environments for cars and taxis and any moving vehicle on the road wasn't designed with autonomous vehicles in mind. And so definitely some work there needs to be done. At the same time, we're building this technology, and maybe it's time to consider different technologies or different ways of utilizing these technologies to get the same end result. In some places, like in San Francisco, they have special lanes for, trolleys. Maybe there's a special lane for autonomous cars or special roads even. And so, simply incrementally looking at regulation and technology as has been done thus far might not be the thing. So going back to the drawing board and thinking a little more expansively might not be a bad idea.
And do you think, from the other side of the argument, that there may be some major benefits to this concept in general that we may not be thinking about?
There absolutely are. I mean, just think about it from a safety perspective. We've all heard the stories about Uber and Lyft drivers, even if they go through all the safety checks that those companies have put together about there being issues, especially for women who are traveling alone. And, if you think about, for example, putting your kids in a device like this, I probably would feel more comfortable if there wasn't a human in it once this technology was sorted versus some person who, may or may not be the person who filled out the application, may or may not be the person sitting behind the wheel of the car.
Absolutely. We have about a minute left, but do you think ultimately, once this technology potentially becomes viable, would first responders and the general public need to have some sort of training to know how to communicate with these driverless cars? Also, maybe how to escape in the case of a crisis?
Again, great question. And I think you're absolutely right. We need to educate people on how to operate with these. Just like, for example, in the trunk of every car, there's a brightly colored handle you can pull. It'll pop the trunk open. Is there regulation that requires that to happen? We've heard stories about people getting locked in their Teslas for hours because the batteries die. we need to think about how this becomes livable, not just for the people around these vehicles, but also the people inside them. There's just a lot of air gap between the current environment and what needs to be true for this to be rolled out at significant scale.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.